You know, when we're trying to build a good life, we tend to look for really complex answers. But what if the secret was actually a single, powerful idea from ancient wisdom? Today, we're going to dig into a concept from the Pali texts that's described as the absolute bedrock for a harmonious life. Let's jump in.
So let's just start right there. If you had to build everything, your happiness, your sense of purpose, your peace of mind, on just one single foundation, what would you choose? It's a pretty big question when you stop and think about it, isn't it?
Well, according to this ancient way of thinking, the answer isn't wealth or power or even knowledge on its own. The answer is wrapped up in a single Pali word, sila. And trust me, it's way more profound than you might think at first glance.
All right, so before we can start building anything, we have to know what our materials are. What exactly is sila? Because the usual one-word translation, morality, well, it really doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, so let's just forget the word morality for a second. The texts paint a much, much richer picture. Sila is about skilled conduct. It's a state of harmony, both inside and out. And it's built on three key pillars: our physical actions, the words we choose to speak, and even the way we earn a living. It's basically the whole texture of how we interact with the world.
Now, I know that might sound a little abstract, but the starting point is incredibly practical. See, sila doesn't start with some grand, lofty ideals. Nope. It begins with the simple, conscious decision to just stop, to choose not to do things that cause harm.
The first, and maybe the most fundamental, is a deep commitment to non-harm. This is all about consciously stepping back from any intention to hurt or destroy life, and instead really cultivating a sense of care for all beings. Next up, it's about something we can all understand: basic integrity. This just means not taking what isn't freely given to you. It's such a simple act, but it's what builds a world of trust and shows respect for other people's work. The third pillar is all about the incredible power of our words. And listen, this isn't just about not telling obvious lies. It goes deeper. It's about avoiding speech that creates division, harsh words, or even just pointless gossip. The goal here is to use our words in ways that are truthful, helpful, and ultimately kind.
And finally, we have this commitment to keeping a clear head. This is about steering clear of substances that cloud the mind and lead to carelessness. Why? Because a clear mind is absolutely essential if you want to make skillful choices.
Okay, so when you look at these principles of restraint, you start to see that sila isn't just some boring list of don'ts. It's the actual groundwork. This is the solid ground where we can start to build something much, much bigger. The texts have this beautiful way of explaining it. They say sila is like the earth itself, that rich, fertile soil. Without that soil, nothing else can grow. No other positive qualities like compassion or wisdom can ever really take root. It is the stable base that supports literally everything else. And this path is laid out so clearly. Sila is always step one. Once that foundation of harmonious conduct is solid, the mind naturally starts to settle down. That allows for the development of samadhi, a state of really focused, deep concentration. And from that place of calm clarity, then you can cultivate panya, a true, penetrating wisdom. See, it's a natural step-by-step process. Now, this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. The texts get very real about the tangible consequences of living with or without this foundation. Let's take a look at the two paths they lay out for us. I mean, the contrast here could not be more stark. The path of non-virtue is said to lead to very practical, real-world problems. You lose wealth, you get a bad reputation, you live in a state of confusion. But the path of virtue? It leads to the exact opposite: stability, a good name, and the confidence to face whatever life throws at you. The choices we make have real results.
Okay, so we've got the foundation and we see the consequences. But there is a really important detail here, a kind of subtle trap that the texts warn us about. It's what keeps sila from turning into just a rigid, lifeless set of rules.
So you have to ask, right? Is this whole thing just about mechanically following a set of rules? Is that the endgame? Well, the texts give a very firm no, and they even have a specific name for getting this part wrong.
They call this trap silabatupadana. It's a kind of clinging where you get attached to the rules themselves. It's like having a raft to cross a river, but instead of using it, you just stay on the shore polishing it. You might be following the rules perfectly, but you're doing it just for the sake of the ritual or to feel superior, and you're totally missing the real point.
And this is the crucial takeaway. Sila is a tool. Think of it like training wheels for the mind. All of those external actions are designed for one ultimate purpose: to create inner purity and clarity. The whole point of virtuous action is that it leads to a purified mind. It's an inside job, through and through.
And when we really get that, our whole perspective on sila just flips. It's no longer a burden or a bunch of restrictions. It becomes something else entirely, a source of incredible inner wealth and strength. So instead of seeing it as something you have to do, the texts reframe it as a treasure that you get to possess. It's a type of wealth that no one can steal, that you can't lose in a stock market crash, and that protects you from the inside out.
In fact, sila is seen as so valuable that it's listed as one of the 7 treasures, the essential qualities that make up a truly rich inner life.
And you can see right here how sila fits into this amazing bigger picture. Virtuous conduct sits right there alongside other treasures like wisdom, generosity, and even faith or conviction. It's not some standalone rulebook. It's an essential piece of a complete and truly wealthy inner world.
And we'll end on this powerful summary. When you are established in sila, when it is the firm ground you stand on, all your other wholesome qualities, your kindness, your wisdom, your peace, they're protected. They don't fade away. Sila is the guardian of every good thing you cultivate. And so, we come right back to the beginning. Sila isn't a restriction, it's a blueprint for a harmonious life. It's the stable foundation that supports everything else you want to build. And it all starts so simply with the little choices we make moment by moment. So the only real question left is the one right there on the screen. What foundation will you build today?